Welcome to part two. We're joined by Andy from Aberdeen. Or should I say, Andy who's not from Aberdeen, isn't it, Andy?
How you doing, Ross?
I'm all right. Uh, I want to talk about the middleweight division. Is
Yeah,
it bigger now than it's ever been, Andy?
it seems to be a lack of big names or anything like that.
Yeah.
It does seem a bit stale, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I'm starting to
Doesn't
wonder
seem to be a lot
about
of
it.
fights either. Doesn't seem to be a lot of fights happening either, does it?
It's that Shiraz, who Bricktop's got. I mean, I don't rate him personally after what happened with Bradley Skeet. He's not for me, him.
Yeah,
But he could end up being undisputed, couldn't he?
yeah. If it's weak, if he just times it right, that's what can
Oh,
happen there.
he could end up. I mean, look at it's like Ricky Burns. You would have never had him down for a free weight world champion, would you?
Yeah, good fighter, though.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just saying though, but
Mhm.
he never got really got his flowers. But a lot of it were careful matchmaking, wasn't it? Really. And if they're matched
Yeah,
correctly at the right time, you can get world titles. There's some fighters, Errol Bomber Grahams, Ryan Rhodes. They never got to be world champions, did they? But
just at the wrong time, eh?
wrong
You
time,
know,
timing, fighting at wrong weight. Maybe Ryan. Ryan should have been a light middle, should he not a middle? Uh, and you
was
get
I
other
think,
guys that pinch world titles, don't they?
yeah. I mean, was there no middleweight division about? Was there? And Errol Graham, that would have suited him better at
Well,
the time.
well, he fought at super middle level. In 1984, it came out.
Was it as early as that? Was it?
Yeah, do you know who the
Ah,
first world champion at super middleweight?
tell me.
Murray Sutherland, a
Murray
Scottish
Sutherland.
Scot.
Right, there you go.
You remember him?
I should know that.
Well, he was the first super middleweight world champion, Murray Sutherland. Did you know that?
I've probably heard it in the past and it's slipped
41
my mind.
years ago. Yeah, I mean, we should really be saying it's an old school division now, 41 years, nearly half a century, isn't it?
Yeah,
But because middleweight's been going over 100 years, we tend to refer to that as welterweight, middleweight, light heavy, heavy, don't we? But if
yeah,
you
the original.
yeah, but they slotted light middleweight in that, and they changed it to super welter, and then they slotted a super middle in, didn't they, in between light heavy and middle. Uh, but I personally think that super middleweight's a good division. But people are
Yeah,
getting bigger, aren't they, all the time? That's why they created these divisions. It's like Muhammad Ali. What would he? Well, Joe Fraser were 199 pound when he were at his peak. That's to pound under cruiserweight now, isn't it?
yeah,
You know what I mean? So he'd be under 80 pound less than Fury other night when he fought Usyk. 80 odd
yeah,
pounds. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Big difference, isn't it?
It certainly is. Even when Ali came on the scene at first, I don't think he was 15 stone when he came on the
I
scene,
was
was he?
14, when he 14 and a bit, wasn't he? So
Yeah. But see, his Olympic medal was a light heavyweight, wasn't it?
yeah, like it'd be like Andre Ward, 178 pound.
Yeah.
So okay, women boxing at the moment, is it dying on its arse, Andy?
Yeah, I think there's a lack of depth of talent, isn't there? So, and is that going to improve? Is there a lot of young women taking up boxing? I don't know. I don't have the statistics on that.
Don't you?
I to tell
Think
you one thing I noticed, something I noticed about the Ring Awards. I noticed that Frank Feather was there talking to Turkey Al Sheikh. So he's obviously been invited there. So Turkey Al Sheikh must be interested in grassroots boxing as well as
I mean
the
that
big.
Scotsman?
Ah,
Yeah.
so they must be. He must be interested in the grassroots. What's happening there? Because I think he said he's got 200 young boxers in Saudi Arabia.
Oh yeah, I told you about that, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they're
it's
all
not just.
little robots. They're all like on these bags, all wearing matching gym gear, and they all
Yeah.
turn up on time, and they're all really dedicated. And he's planning for the future, isn't he? Obviously.
So that's good to see that. It's not just the big shows he's interested in. He's interested in the whole shooting match, isn't he?
Well, yeah. Well, why not? If you're throwing a billion at the sport, you know, he's got all the big noises, the big noise promoters. He's got all them on side, and he straighten all them out. You straighten all commissions out. You buy Ring Magazine. You get your own arena. You know, he's laid all foundations, and he's got a gym there. He's called it the
Yeah.
Mike Tyson gym. Joe G runs that gym. Do you know what I mean?
It's it's a
Pardon?
huge setup, isn't it, really?
Massive, isn't it?
We
Massive.
could never have believed, you never have believed 10 years ago something like this would happen, would you?
No, you won't, mate. You won't. You're right.
Could
You're
this save the sport? That's what I'm thinking. It could
what?
be. I think this could possibly save the sport from going in a downward trajectory. It could lift the sport, isn't it?
A downward summit, isn't it? Uh, Mike Tyson has come out and he's said that he threw the fight against Jake Paul. What do you make of all that? I mean, basically, it's gone on his record as a seventh loss, hasn't it? Now after he'd been retired 20 years.
He's
What's gone on there? Do you think? How's that
so,
possible, Andy? How can that happen?
if that's is it just an excuse? Is it, I don't know. He sold his soul, isn't he, really, for whatever money he got. But at the end of the day, he was hobbling it. It's even the ring walk looked cringeworthy. I thought, oh no, I thought this is going to be worse. I mean, I only watched it because I was awake. But the ring walk, I thought this is going to even be worse than I imagined. And it was. You couldn't seem to move. It's like he had one leg. One leg was bandaged or taped up or bandaged up or something. But nah, it was a horrible. It should never have been allowed to happen. That and that Texas commission that's sanctioned that they want to hang their heads in shame. But then it's them that license. Did they no license Conor Ben and Dillian White for certain fights? I might be wrong on that, but I've got a feeling I'm right on that. So
I'm
what's
not,
going on with them? Well, they need looked into.
I'm not sure if Conor Ben fought in Florida, did he?
Yeah, but was it a Texas commission? I don't know. I know it might have been a Florida commission, but what about the second fight?
Out there's a lot of them. I read Mike Tyson's book overnight, or some extract from it, and he admitted in this book that after he'd fought certain fighters, when they come to drug test him, he peed into a false willy.
I've heard that.
Or they already had somebody else's urine in it and he held it onto his dick
Mhm.
with these tests. Right, so we've got a guy here admitting
A
cheating,
drug cheat.
yeah, drug cheat, convicted rapist, battered that old couple as well, didn't he? Now he's saying he threw that fight, right? And you got people phoning over him.
The God. I
Right?
want Mike Tyson. I want to call Mike Tyson my friend. That's
What
what he
sort of people are these who are phoning over some nonce? Granny basher who's a drug cheat, admittedly. And Teddy Atlas come out. I watched an interview he'd done where he'd assaulted his 11-year-old niece, and he was a big 16-year-old lad. Well, why are people putting up with this? Why are they giving this guy a wrong un the time of day? Because if
and
anybody
Teddy.
else on an housing estate, they'd have all his windows boarded up now, wouldn't they? And something like that. Can't believe it.
Yeah.
Just because he used to knock
Te-
the fighting ring. Every time anybody stood up to him in that ring, he crumbled him. And it's the
Teddy.
biggest con
Ted,
job ever.
Teddy Atlas no hold a gun to his head over that stuff.
Yeah, he let it off. He pulled the gun out and let it off, didn't he?
Mm. So
So
he's a serious dude, Teddy Atlas.
yeah, he's been in Rikers Island. He's got a big stripe down the side of his face, hasn't he? He got a toe stretch, didn't he, when he were a youth?
Right.
So I don't know what to make of it all, but I'm fed up of people phoning over this nonce. I'm
It's a
hearing
bit
the
like
word nonce. You hear that, Mike Tyson fans? Hit me in comment section. What do you think to that?
it's a bit like all this. We've talked about it before. The media always seem to concentrate on a certain clique of fighters, and some of them have failed drug tests and that.
Uh,
And there doesn't seem to be much people like Nick Ball, who's I think is a great fighter. Doesn't seem people like him aren't getting any airtime or any coverage. It's
yeah.
all the same old
Crusher
faces, isn't
Ben.
it? Ah, him and Dillian White get this.
Well, Jimmy White
Should
doesn't
be
get
a,
much airtime nowadays, does he? But
they should be.
he used to, didn't he, when he was Eddie's boy?
They used to be. I've seen him on Talksport a few times, Dillian White, latterly, but he should be irrelevant for what's going on now.
Oh yeah, yeah. But you see, the thing is with me, I don't miss a thing. I don't miss a thing, and I admit, I am pretty fearless on here. And it's like I say to people, if you've got a problem, come on here on Zoom. We'll talk it out. And that goes for you, Big Malk. We your big giant bins. I know you're watching. What's
I
that?
didn't.
Big Malk has gone quiet, hasn't he? Big football agent in Saudi. What's all that? Big Malk, eh?
I
We,
didn't
go
I
on.
didn't realize Dave Caldwell was so small. I seen him on. I seen him on Sky Sports last night, standing next to Natasha Jonas and was it Emma Woodhouse? Is that her name?
Uh,
And Big Johnny. But he looked like a midget next to all them. I didn't realize he was as small as
like he's fell off a keyring, isn't
that.
it? Bombay Dave.
Pompey Dave. Huh?
Bombay Dave, come see me.
He was doing the commentary on that fighting last night. I don't know if you watched any of it, but
I remember when
that
I
was
do you remember when I silenced him, Bombay Dave? He went missing, didn't he, for months, crying his eyeballs out. He soon found a way back, didn't you, Bombay Dave?
went off grid.
And you've still not been down to Chris Medley's gym to see Nicky, have you? Eh? Why not? Bombay Dave. That dog won't hunt. What's happening with Katie Taylor? Do you think she's done now, Andy?
Ah, I think so. I think she should call it a day.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think Eddie's going to let her, though?
Nah, he'll have her rolled out for another rematch with somebody, but she might not. She must have a constant headache when she's fighting all the head clashes that goes on.
How did she get away with all the med books?
Holyfield used to get blamed for that back in the day. Yeah? I mean, I'm sure years ago I heard people saying, "Was Holyfield a dirty fighter?" When remember he fought Bobby Ches, and then Bobby Ches couldn't see the sand in his eyes. Remember that fight?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Because Holyfield wasn't really wasn't having a lot of success against Bobby Ches, and then that all the stuff about it couldn't, but nothing was looked into about that. That's and then you hear Holyfield. There's accusations of him being a drug cheat as well, but whether he was or not, I don't know if that's right or not. But have heard accusations about that in the past. But so was he a dirty? Mike Tyson was complaining about him being headbutted. He felt he wasn't being helped by the ref, but
There's Mike
Johnson,
Tyson who admits
aye, exactly.
drug testing after fights. I know, yeah, he couldn't make it up, could you? Only because he'd been roughed up and he couldn't get his head
Nah.
booked first. Well, Mike Tyson were famous for elbow on blind side at referee, wasn't he? When
Trying
he
to break people's arms.
Richard Steele. Do you remember him, Richard Steele from Meldrick Taylor Chavez?
Oh,
Oh my God! What
can
about
stop
that
it.
one, Andy?
Terrible. Remember Tyson when he fought Francois Bota? He was getting well outboxed, and then he's trying to break his arm against the ropes, wasn't he? And then,
Yeah, looking for a way out. You see, that's what that's what bullies do. They look for a way out, mate, and that's what he did. That's what he did against Kevin McBride and Danny Williams. He looked for a way out. That's it. He already been paid, so
giving up there.
Yeah, he said never.
Bota was schooling him in that fight. It was quite bizarre, but
schooling him, he won, mate.
And then remember he fought a guy, Brian Nielsen, who in Copenhagen, I think it was.
Yeah, he got
but
him, didn't he?
He looked like he was going to give up in that fight, but I think Nielsen kind of got tired first, didn't he? And did he quit on his stool, I think. Right. So Tyson was lucky there. That could have been another loss there.
What about Anthony Yard? Do you feel sorry for him?
Yeah, I think he's been badly advised, isn't he? He should have. He should have been back. He should have been back to Bricktop Grovel a while back, and he would have got on that. He would have probably been well off after having a couple of fights on Saudi shows. Willie Hutchison's kind of done all right out of that though. He got a couple of fights that could have been anti-yards fights, didn't
Well,
he?
I rate that Willie Hutchinson, me, you know. I think
He's a decent
like
fighter.
Hmm.
Yeah.
How do you see Callum Smith's career going now?
Has he got a fight? Is he fighting Guatsi on February card? Am I right in saying that?
Can't remember.
Got it written down somewhere. We was all fighting on that card. Let me refer to my notes.
Feb 22nd.
Yeah. Yeah, he's fighting Guatsi in that show. Yeah. It's one of the
What do you
fights.
think about him, Callum Smith? Because he's not really engaging, is he?
Nah, I mean I thought he'd called it a day, but he's come back again, hasn't
Yeah, it's ladies and gentlemen, the Smiths.
he? I seen somebody interviewing him saying the most famous of the Smith brothers, Callum Smith.
Paul Smith's the most famous one, isn't he? Smigger's titties.
Smigger.
Jim Royal.
Jim Royal.
Big Jim. Best win Jamie Ambler or Tony Dodson. I used to follow Paul Smith, you know. I was a Paul Smith groupie before I went on to Froch. No,
Did you know block you? Did you know tell me he blocked you or something like that?
Paul Smith, I wished him all the best. Yeah, I mean, how's about this, right? I wanted him to knock Ward out, right? Because he beat Froch, didn't he, Ward? So I wished Paul Smith all the best on Twitter, and he against Andre Ward, and he blocked me. I was devastated as well. I was. So I was like, wow.
That's bizarre, eh?
Yeah. Well, he knew he were going to lose, didn't he? I mean, he got in half a stone of a weight.
Madness. Eh?
Are you telling me? He meant that? Of course he meant it. He thought he'd go in heavy, didn't he? Couldn't be arsed.
No.
That's the bottom line.
Disappointing.
Hey?
Disappointing that, isn't it?
Well, it makes you wonder what's going on when they can't be bothered to lose weight, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What are they doing fight week? Do you know what I mean? What's all that about?
That's it. Eating pies.
He looked like he was going to gallows, didn't he?
Aye, yeah. He'd given up before he started, eh?
Ah, do you know what I mean? Let me down, man. I were a Paul Smith groupie. Talented kid, but didn't apply himself correctly. Whereas
Wasted talent. Eh?
the other brothers, Swift did a right little style on him. Beefy, tough as they come. And other one, the Giant Mute. And I don't really buy into him. Who's his best win, the Giant Mute?
Groves, is it?
One arm bandit.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. That's the Callum Smith story, multi-millionaire.
Hmm.
He couldn't make it up, Andy.
No, that's about it. Eh? So he'll if he beats Buatsi, which I don't think he will, eh? But if he does, that's fair play to him. But was that for a title? I don't know if that's for a title or not.
Be interim or something, ain't it?
Yeah, it was something like that. Eh? I don't have that written. Don't have that information. I've just got the Better BF Bivol rematch: Dubois Parker, Shakur Stevenson, Floyd Schofield, Charles Adamad against Hamza Shiraz, Virgil Ortiz Jr. against Ismail Madrimov. He's a good fighter, isn't he, Madrimov?
Yeah.
Buatsi against Smith, Zile Zhang against Caballel.
Yeah, that's a good fight.
Big Bang Zhang.
What do you make of that last night, Callum Simpson?
That was a terrible stoppage. That was the worst stoppage since Johnny Nelson stopped Carl Thompson. And Johnny Nelson was
not worse than that one, surely.
He was defending that to the hilt. I think because of his win over Carl Thompson, that's why. Oh well, you know the ref seen stuff we know. I thought, well, he's maybe a bit closer to action, but that was clear to me that the guy was throwing back and the ref jumped in. What's going on?
Do you know why Horsecock got that WBO belt that night? Because they were hanging out at back of Nazim Ahmed for years, weren't you? Horsecock. It was. So the Bricktop felt, well, we better keep Naz sweet. Here, we'll get Horsecock a title.
Aye.
I'm telling you now, Horsecock blagged the title off Carl Thompson. That was the biggest robbery I've ever seen in boxing, other than
Okay.
Robin Reed, Sven Otka.
Yeah. That was terrible. Remember Brendan Ingle and Horsecock sabotaging Carl Thompson's interview after he beat Eubank, was it?
Yeah.
And they were just shouting at him. It's a bit disrespectful. In my mind, I thought at the time.
Well, Brendan wasn't behind door, were he? Let's have a
No, he was pretty
no,
full.
he wasn't shy where they were a pound no. I don't mean to speak ill of the dead, but where they were a pound no, Brendan were there on the scene, let me tell you. So they're just promoting fight, weren't they? But Johnny
I
Nelson
liked him as a.
had the worst style I've ever seen on a fighter. He pinched the belt
No,
that night, didn't give him the rematch, and then went on to fight Journeyman in defences.
yeah. I quite like
That's
Brendan
the
Ingle as
bottom
that.
line. That's the bottom line. But nobody's allowed to say out. They never even give him his belt for about 15 years, you know, for WBO. Did you know that?
Didn't know that. No.
Yeah, it took him, Johnny, isn't that right? It took him about 15 years to give him belt. And the word is in boxing circles that they want counting it. It were no contest, but eventually he got his belt.
Aye.
Shocking decision, absolutely shocking.
I like Brendan Ingle. I thought he did well when Nassim and that. But
Yeah, he did, yeah.
uh, if Nassim had stayed with him, he would have finished his career better than I think he got way ahead of himself. Yeah, yeah.
Well, we know who trained him, don't we, for that loss? Flex. Flex did all training when he got beat, didn't you, Flex? Did all preparation work and got him licked.
Was he? I thought he was away for them. Was it no Emmanuel Stewart and a guy Oscar
Yeah, but
Suarez or something?
Flex did all preparation work for him, didn't he? Manny
Oh,
Stewart
all right.
up for a week, didn't he?
Aye. And he was only in every other round, wasn't he? We're in switching over. What was that all about?
No, no.
Madness, eh? Madness.
Who's best trainer in UK at the moment, Andy?
Uh, Possibly Shane McGuigan. I quite like Shane McGuigan.
Yeah.
I think he's quite a calm, well balanced guy. I believe he does. He trains with the fighters as well. He does all the circuits and that. Somebody was saying the other day.
Yeah.
So he's in the thicket, isn't he? And I think he's pretty respectful. You never hear him bad mouthing people or anything like
They play
that.
game, and they just play game, don't they? A lot of these train, like Ben Davidson, he plays the game, doesn't he? It's me pal. It's me pal. It's a pal of mine. You're not my fucking pal.
But
You know what
I
I
like
mean?
Billy. Nick.
Everybody's arsehole, isn't it? Did you see Fury when he come out at the ring? How did you have that, Ben? Oh, I had you edging it.
Oh,
Ben, crawl out of Tyson's ringer. That's where the shit's out of that. Do you know what I mean? Crawl
I
out.
like
Smells up there.
I like Billy Nelson as well because he's a straight talker, eh?
Listen, if Billy Nelson were promoting Benny from Crossroads, if you were training him, right, him with Benny hat on at Dungarees, you know, from Crossroads, Billy Nelson were training him, he'd be on IFL now or Boxing Social telling us that he's going to be the new Herbie Hyde. Telling you now, mate, honestly. Honestly, you know what Little Billy's like, but no, listen, mate. Little Billy's a
he's
good trainer. We
he's
can't.
training a guy. He's training a guy from Perth now called Luke Bibby. I'm going to try and meet up with him. I'm going to try and seek him out and meet up with him. He's apparently everybody I know a lot of people that know him, and they say he's totally dedicated. I've heard Billy Nelson saying that as well. But I think I think he was out in Saudi and had a fight there. You know how they had their fights midweek before the Fury Usyk rematch. He was one of their fighters. He got another win on his record. I think he's eight fights, 8 wins at the moment. So good on him. Aye. Billy Nelson speaks highly of him. So I wouldn't think Billy Nelson would be taking him on if he didn't see something there that's.
Is Billy Nelson a promoter or a trainer? Cause all he does is big his fighters up, doesn't he? I see more
He's,
interviews from him than Bacoli.
He's a manager as well, like
I
as
see.
well as a trainer. Yeah,
Aye.
I think
Oh,
he manages Bacoli anyway. Yeah.
okay. Okay. Who's your top pound for pound guy in the world at the moment?
Usyk, definitely Usyk.
Is that because big
And
guys?
he's unbelievable. The advantages he's given away, and he's still whooping giants, really. Because Joshua and Fury are both big guys, aren't they?
Yeah.
So the fact he can, and he's like I've said before, I think he's super strong for his size as well. He's nobody's manhandling him, despite his size disadvantage, is it? I like to see Crawford fight. Crawford's been a bit inactive for me. I think he's one of the top
Canelo,
fighters,
isn't
but
he?
they're talking about Canelo now, aren't they?
Talking about Canelo, yeah.
How
Is
do you think that will go?
is Tony the Bell End Bellew going to come back?
I've been thinking he's going to come back for a while. There's got to
Need
be
him back, don't we? We need Tony back, don't we? We just need Tony back just so we can say, look at him coming back, man. This Tony. So we need him
Did you?
back, don't we?
I don't think you did. You watch the Froch interview with Turkey Al Sheikh?
No, I won't watch it, mate, because
Well,
I'm disappointed. So that's all I'm going to say.
Turkey Al Sheikh said he offered Calzaghe money to fight, like a proper fight against Froch last year, and he
Yeah.
said Calzaghe accepted initially, but the next day he rejected it. I think it's something to do with his family didn't want him to be fighting again. But Froch obviously didn't know about that. He said, "Wow, it's obviously serious money he made off." He never said how much, but he
Oh God,
told
I'm
Froch,
saying that to Carl in a Friday's head now, thinking about all that.
"Oh," he said, he said to him, well, he obviously didn't know about it, but he said to him, he was serious about making it, making the fight. So he's obviously wanting to see fights like that. So you can't write off him seeing a fight with Vladimir Klitschko fighting somebody. Could be the Fury rematch or anything. It
We're
wouldn't
just playing
surprise me if Fury took.
boxing, isn't it? Really now, isn't it? Bringing Vladimir back at 49. Come on. Hey, what's all that about?
That's maybe it's just as he's having fantasy. He's wanting fantasy fights to happen, isn't he? Because
Well,
that's how
Zaggy's
he's.
50 odd now, isn't he? He's as old as me.
Aye, must be. He's too. I couldn't see him coming back. Yeah, what's Froch? 46 or 47? I think.
You think Horsecock's hanging about trying to get a few quid as well? What
He's about
about
50
Glenn
now.
McCrory? Glenn McCrory. Think he might be coming back?
He might-
I mean,
George,
after that fight with Roy Jones collapsed, Glenn McCrory disappeared off at radar, didn't he? His head went.
I mean, I heard talk of Roy Jones Jr. and Jake Paul. I don't know if that's right or not.
Oh my God, who wants to see that?
Oh, that's a. Yeah, want to see that. That's Jake Paul side of things. I don't think that's Turkey Al Sheikh's.
You know what I'd like to see? Ann Wolf against Sky Nicholson. And that'd be all she wrote, wouldn't it, for Sky Nicholson? Pop, pop, bang. Hey.
I don't know how old Calzaghe is. I'm going to look that up because I'm curious now. I think it must be 51 or 52 though.
You know, reading something in Big John Fury's book, you know. We're explaining about the partridge name and that, and he were using it when he were on run from Interpol. That is book.
What's the book called? Tales of the Unexpected.
My life as the head of the Fury bare knuckle family or something. Which one of them's had a bare knuckler out that lot? Can you
Even
put that on me?
BT Sport made a documentary about him. Remember carrying a punch
Yep,
bag of
Andy.
camel.
What people forget is, you know, when you whack somebody in a pub on a night time and he's not looking, it doesn't mean to say that you've had a fucking bare knuckler, does it? Hey, you know,
No,
twatting people who are not even looking at you and they're half your size, that is not a bare knuckler.
that's mugging somebody.
There you go. So
Calzaghe's 52. He's 52.
there you go. 50,
He'll
so
be
coming
50,
53 shortly, yeah.
53 in March. So he's
Yeah,
the same age. I am now.
yeah. So he's yeah. So basically, that's craziness, that isn't it? I mean, if they're going to bring Carl Zaggy back, why don't they bring him back and give Robin Reed a payday?
A rematch.
Yeah, well, I thought Robin Reed beat him. He landed more punches if you go on Compy Box. Why
Yeah, that
not?
was a close fight. I think when I watched it at the time, without
Big
any
decision. They
figures
took
of
the
confidence,
point off him, didn't they, late on, and they shouldn't have done.
I thought it should have been at least a draw.
Well, There you go. Okie dokie. Well, listen, thanks for coming on, Andy. You've been a real tonic and a great addition to the channel.
No problem. I've enjoyed other guys' content. I like Sean's dry wit. He's quite witty, isn't
He's as dry as Gandhi's flip flop, isn't he?
he? Jerry's a good guy as well. They're all good guys, eh? Is Kent coming back on soon?
Kent, I don't know what's happening with Kent. Kent, what's happening? Are you retired or what? You're not doing a Julian on me, are you?
Come back, Kent.
Julian's the hates boxing, doesn't he? I bet.
How's Max's diet going?
I've told Max, don't ever text me again until you're 18 stone. Sends me knackers all the time. Sends me stuff from parody accounts. So he's all right, Max. He's loyal.
He's a good lad, eh? He's a good lad. He likes spending all his money on petrol with the sounds, eh?
Bought a big old gaff up here, man. He's not behind the door, Max. Yeah, he's not behind the door. Right?
Well done, him, eh?
He's a hard worker, isn't he, Max?
There's a retired guy in Canada started up his own boxing channel. I put a comment in his thing where I said he's a fan of yours, eh? He's a fan of Porky's Corner.
Oh yeah, good.
Stuff. So I says to him, you should email Russ to do a Zoom with him, eh? There'll be a bit of time difference, but he seems to be on the same wavelength as us. Bob from Canada's boxing channel. So big up, Bob.
I think he might have emailed me. I'm not sure. My memory's shot to bits because I'm knocking on it now. I think he might have emailed. So.
Good on. He sounds a good guy. Eh? I think he's retired, maybe mid-60s or something. He seems a good guy.
All right then. Well, listen. Thanks for coming on. You take care, Andy.
Good man. You take care as well.
Bye.
Cheers, pal.
Right. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. That is it. Pop, bang. 12th of Jan. That's 38 videos done. Right, so if it were 3 a day, it'd be 36. So I've got 2 into tomorrow. So I'm going to do 1 tomorrow and toss it off. All right? How's about that? Peace out.